Well, you wrote 12 songs for this album. The last song was written 1 or 2 years ago, and the first one even 10 years ago almost. Are there songs that you, when you play them now, that actually have another meaning now to you? I mean, lyric-wise, you say, well, maybe when I wrote that song, now I finally know what I really meant, or now it's...
Well, sound-wise, it felt like it all came together on the album. Like, now I know what this song was intended for, because I could redo it in that arrangement and that production. But when I play the songs now, there are some songs that I feel really like the song "Summer's Game" is about a summer that I'm longing for it to happen, with that everything changes, and like, you know, the summer that I was dreaming of, and that summer for me totally happened. So now when I look back, when I sing that song, I'm always like, I wrote this song about this, and now I'm doing it. You know, that makes the song very real, and I'm singing it on stage. Although it's a very different feeling that I had when I wrote it, because it was more a longing for something. But when I was actually living the dream, the song became more and more relevant in a way as well. So yeah, that happens sometimes with songs. But in Chameleon is the same thing, because I'm still looking for my own identity and you know, changing as well.
But do you believe in a fixed identity, or is it maybe your identity is to constantly change? I don't know, but
yeah, of course it's changing all the time, but you have to feel. Well, I personally have to feel like, you know, some people seem like they want to be someone, and they look like it, but you can still, and they look and sound like it, but you can still tell that they want to be that, and then they're not that completely. Maybe they feel differently, of course, or someone else feels differently about that, but it can seem like that. And other people wear and talk and do the same things, but they are that person, and they just feel more real. So yeah, it's a difficult question to you know, when are you the person that you want to be, and when are you just wanting to be someone? Because you can be anything that you want.
If you really want it.
Exactly. But when have you achieved it? Maybe you've already achieved it if you want it.
But only when you feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't feel it, then you can want it. But
oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Syd Barrett is well, it's, can I say it's a huge influence?
Yes. Well, he's kind of like the godfather of psychedelic music for me. He's like where it all started. So yeah, I don't listen to his music that much recently anymore, just sometimes. So he doesn't have the sort of fresh thing that he had when I discovered him. But he still influences me a lot, because he's the only person that, well, he's a unique thing for me, you know. So.
Have you is it just his Pink Floyd period, also his solo period? Because sometimes people say, well, he really went off the tracks in his solo period.
Well, for me, both are very, very interesting, because with Pink Floyd, he had so many great band members who could really add to his world and his vision. So yeah, for instance, Rick Wright of Pink Floyd, I think for me is maybe the most important part of Pink Floyd, next to Syd Barrett, because he created all these great atmospheres with his organ sounds and tape echoes and everything. He created the Pink Floyd sound, which added to the world and the vision of Syd Barrett, I think. The rest as well, but Rick Wright even more, I think. So that's like the ultimate version of like someone's vision, people adding something to it and creating something even more amazing. But on the other hand, Syd Barrett solo stuff is more personal and gives a more clear insight in his crazy world, because he was going more and more crazy at that time. So that is a very dark and very intense thing, which is way darker than the early Pink Floyd stuff. So yeah, I like both for those two reasons, but they're very different.
What do you like then about those dark, more scary, crazy stuff?
Because it's something that we all have, you know, the darkness inside us, and not many people show it because it's one of the hardest things to show or to feel or to recognize, or you know, you sometimes it just grabs you like in a nightmare or something. You just feel all this darkness inside, while during the day you don't feel that all the time. You just feel it during a nightmare, or when you're watching a scary movie, you feel like, you know, you can really feel that, but it's still there, you know, it's still a part of every human being, I think. So that's, for me, that's really interesting how Syd Barrett was able to put that into music, which, you know, his music doesn't sound very scary sound-wise, you know, it's just a guy with a guitar singing. But still, his lyrics and his way of singing reveal that darkness and that dark side in a way that's very, in my opinion, much more direct than using scary sounds or, you know.
Is for you the Syd Barrett? Did you follow him in recent years? Because I think he passed away 2 or 3 years ago.
2006.
2006 already.
Yeah.
For me, it's okay. Did you know what he was doing because he was living at his parents' and his mom's house?
Yeah.
Did you know what he was doing?
All I know that he was denying to be Syd Barrett, which is, you know, connecting it back to like wanting to be someone and believing that and feeling it and then actually being that someone. Then he wasn't Syd Barrett anymore for a very long time because he didn't. Well, he told people that he didn't feel like it, and he didn't even use his name Syd anymore. You know, he seemed like a completely different person. Maybe only to the media, but I'm thinking he just was a different person in a way. Which is, you know, it's hard to believe someone to be completely disconnected with who you were before, because, you know, nobody can do that. But I think in a way he might have achieved that in a, you know, it's a very rare thing, but he might have achieved that in more than most people.
Don't you think that maybe it was some sort of schizophrenia or?
Yeah, maybe that added to the, you know, because otherwise he might probably not be able to do that. But yeah, he probably, if he wasn't schizophrenic, he probably wouldn't even be able to do that. Yeah. So I think that probably helped with, you know, creating this other persona which he just became.
Do you know if he still wrote music?
Well, I've never heard anything, so probably not.
Or maybe you know.
He did some paintings, I think, still at the beginning. I'm not sure actually, but he didn't make any music anymore, I think. Maybe to his parents or something.
Yeah. Last question. Well, you've been successful with this album around the world too. I mean, also in Europe. You've won an EBBA award.
Yeah.
How special is it for you?
Well, I think it's a good thing that these awards are there to, you know, to get artists more heard and more attention for their music. So I'm really happy with that. The exposure that comes with it, and the recognition that comes with it. But I never really believe in awards that much, you know, because I feel like there's people understanding the music way better than the people who are giving away the award. You know, some people are way closer to that kind of music, and that it feels way more personal, the music that I make, to them than probably the people who are the music experts who give away this award, or who they probably just look at the achievements or whatever. And the achievements on itself mean a lot to me, but an award based on the achievements never means that much to me. Okay. But I'm still really happy with it, that they feel they feel that way about it, and it's great that they give people more exposure and a chance to, you know, to show what they can do. That's great. It
celebrates the achievement of, well, you with your first album getting recognition outside Holland, outside your own country.
Yeah.
Well, you've toured the world already. What do people say about your music? How come it also resonates with people outside Holland?
Well, for me, Holland was already in the beginning. When I was working on the album, I never really thought of Holland at all. I was just thinking about other countries and the rest of the world, what they would think about the music. And I knew people in Holland wouldn't really, because I was never that much into Dutch music. Maybe only the 60s stuff, but recent Dutch music I didn't really listen to at all. So I was never really expecting that much from the Dutch media or the Dutch people. So I was really surprised when it was kind of successful, and it is kind of successful in Holland as well. But I wasn't that surprised when that it became successful outside of Holland, I guess. But I am very surprised that it's so successful in such a broad to so many different kind of people and to so many people. That's yeah.
Is there one thing that people tell you about the music? What resonates? Why do they like it? Why is it such a success?
I think because they can just hear a clear vision, which is different than what they usually hear, and yeah, it just sounds like something that the same reason why I like the artists that I like, because they have such a clear vision and they speak to my mind, and I get these really clear emotions, and I know what I'm feeling, and I know what I'm seeing in my head, and it's all so clear that it just takes you away completely, and that's something that music for me has to have. Otherwise, I just don't listen to it, and I think most people that like my music is probably for that reason as well.